Today is Monday, September 23rd, the day after my wife's birthday. And today, I'm just wondering about the Cowboys' home loss to Baltimore on Sunday. Was it just another in a string of disappointing efforts? Or late in the game, was there a silver lining?
Crest is again proud to sponsor the McKinney Police Association Golf Tournament and Car Raffle, October 24th at TPC Craig Ranch in McKinney. Sign up and purchase a raffle ticket for the opportunity to win a brand new Crest Cadillac CT4. It's easy. You go to CrestCares.com. You don't even have to live in McKinney to win. Grab yourself a raffle ticket, sign up at CrestCares.com, perhaps win that new vehicle, and do support the McKinney Police Association. What do you want from your favorite restaurant? Fantastic personal service, a cheery, welcoming, spotless atmosphere, and great food. The primest of beef, wagyu and lamb, incredibly fresh seafood, lobster, salmon, shrimp. Hall of Fame food from a Hall of Fame restaurant. 2 locations of Bob's Steak and Chop House. The original Bob's on Lemon Avenue and the gorgeous new Bob's at Craig Ranch, McKinney. Introducing Star Power Smart Home Solutions, where cutting-edge technology meets effortless living. Control your entire home with just a tap on your smartphone. Adjust the lights, set the temperature, ensure your home is totally secure, all from the palm of your hand. Experience the ultimate solution in comfort and security for your family. Start by going to the website, GetStarPower.com. That's GetStarPower.com.
And now, a word from our title sponsor.
Are all financial advisors fiduciaries? Fewer than you think. Not knowing could reduce your lifestyle. Hi, I'm Mitch Kramer, founder and CEO of Fluent Financial. A fiduciary is a regulatory term to reduce conflicts of interest in wealth management. A fiduciary always works in your best interest. A non-fiduciary advisor might put their compensation or company ahead of yours. At Fluent Financial, we are certified financial planners acting as fiduciary advisors. To learn more, go to fluentfinancial.com or Fluent Financial's YouTube channel.
I don't know if the Cowboys may have found something in themselves in the fourth quarter, in fact, the last 9 minutes of the game against Baltimore. Until then, they were getting their fannies fully kicked again. They were down 28-6. And then, out of nowhere, and without much contribution from their best skill position player, C.D. Lamb, Dallas started flying up and down the field. Contributions from Tolbert and Brooks and Cooks and especially Ferguson, the tight end. But in the end, it was just another loss, dropping Dallas to 1-2. And the defense got trucked again. Baltimore just ran all over them. Baltimore stuck a foot in their mouth and wouldn't take it out for the entire game. And the offense, again, started very, very slowly. That is now 3 consecutive home losses for Dallas, if you go back to the playoff game against Green Bay. And they are eerily similar in one situation. The game was over at halftime. It's over. Green Bay, the score was 27-0. Last week against New Orleans, the score was 35-16 at the half. And Sunday, the score was 21-6 at the half. Which means in those last 3 consecutive home defeats, the scoreboard at the end of the first half in total for those 3 games, Dallas opponents 83, Dallas 22. Yikes. Just yikes. Now, What we saw yesterday was interesting, maybe inspiring, maybe encouraging. But there's a simple fact here. Dak had to throw the ball yesterday 51 times. Teams that throw the ball over 50 times in a game, that's not good. And the offense is wretchedly imbalanced, just wretchedly imbalanced. The Cowboys have zero running game. If I could say minus, I'd say that, but basically zero is about the worst running game you can have in the NFL. Yesterday, the four running backs, Dowdle, Zeke Elliott, Deuce Vaughn, and Cavante Turpin, who had one run on a sweep, ran 14 times for 44 yards. That's 3.1 yards a carry. That's hideous. If that doesn't change, this could turn into a very long season for Dallas. In fact, the longest run the Cowboys had yesterday, the longest run of any kind, 6 yards. 6 yards. Jeez. Now, on the other side, Dallas got outrushed by Baltimore, 274 yards to 51. 274 to 51. That means in the last 2 weeks against Baltimore and New Orleans at home, the Cowboys have allowed 464 yards rushing in 2 weeks. Holy cow. And remember that stat we had last week where we broke down the Cowboys' run defense and how New Orleans just punished them play after play after play by running the ball left? Well, Baltimore saw that on tape, and today, by my figuring, Baltimore ran the ball going left 13 times and got 91 yards. That's 7 yards a carry. Now, I don't know how good the running games of a lot of the future Cowboy opponents are, but I know one thing. They're going to start by trying to run left, because the Cowboys now for 2 weeks in a row have not stopped that offensive approach. You know, the Cowboys' long run of 6, Baltimore had 15 runs of 9 yards or more. 15. Now let's go to passing and how the two teams defended the pass. Dallas never sacked Lamar Jackson. He is really a slippery fellow, but they never sacked him. In fact, they had one hit on him. One. That was by Micah Parsons. Dallas had no passes defensed. On the other side, Baltimore. Now, yes, Dallas was passing the ball a lot more, so the defensive stats are going to be different on the other side. But Dallas gave up 3 sacks and 5 other hits on Dak. And Baltimore had 9 passes defended. That's a sign where the Cowboy wide receiver just wasn't open. In the game, you could see the frustration on the sidelines. The frustration in C.D. Lamb. It was kind of odd that Dallas had that late 3-score run in the fourth quarter, and Lamb wasn't contributing much at all. It was other people that were contributing. And Parsons, there was a piece of tape on Fox showing Parsons, I don't know if I'd say yelling at or yelling encouragement to. I couldn't tell which. But Parsons was frustrated last week, and he's frustrated again this week. What he really ought to be frustrated by, in part, is his own play. And that's what Lamb should be frustrated by, his own play. If Lamb and Parsons aren't stars in the game, no. Just no. Last week, New Orleans was so comfortably ahead at the half that Derek Carr, their quarterback, didn't have to complete a single pass in the second half. No completions in the second half. Today, Lamar Jackson, 2 completions in the second half. Now, there was one curious coaching decision in this game. It was the early third quarter, and Dallas really needed a spark. They got into Baltimore territory, but then drew a flag, and they then didn't gain much back. And they had a 4th down at the Baltimore 48-yard line. They chose to punt. That would have been a 65 to 66-yard field goal try for their star weapon kicker, Brandon Aubrey. But Coach McCarthy opted to punt. Despite the fact that Aubrey has now made 15 consecutive kicks from beyond 50 yards. That's an all-time NFL record. And that distance, 65, 66 yards. Well, Aubrey made a 66-yarder in an exhibition game. And he made a 65-yarder in the first half of Sunday's game against Baltimore. Now, at the time, you didn't think that would come back to be a questionable call at all. But at the time, Dallas really needed a spark. They were dead in the water. They were chum being thrown to the sharks from Baltimore. And in the end, that was a 3-point game. And you go back and you reconsider how important that decision might have been. Dallas has some things to fix. Yes, the last 9 minutes was wonderful. But let's look at the first 50 minutes. And let's look at all 60 minutes last week. Dallas has some stuff to fix. They have got to stop the run. And their offense can't fiddle for 3 quarters, or last week, the whole game, getting in gear. They just can't be down 15 or 22 or 27 like they have been at the half in the last 3 home games. You don't dig yourself out of holes like that. Well, they almost did yesterday. Next up, Thursday night, the New York Giants. Short week. Travel to New York. Play against the Giants. At the beginning of the season, one would assume that this was going to be an easy win. When you looked at the schedule, didn't you? I know I did. Put a W back to next to this game without any question. Well, Dallas is now 1-2, and the Giants are 1-2 after beating Cleveland 21-15. But look back past the Giants. You're hoping that's going to be a win to get to 2-2 on the season. But after the Giants, in the next 5 weeks, the Cowboys play Pittsburgh, Detroit, San Francisco, at Atlanta, and the Eagles. You know, they better beat the Giants on Thursday night. And one bit of warning. When the Giants beat the Browns yesterday, 21-15, they scored all 21 of their points in the first half. Uh-oh.
Today's episode brought to you by Fluent Financial, Retire Sooner, Better Lifestyle. And by Crest Cars. There's good, there's better, and then there's Crest. By Star Power, love where you live. And by Bob's Steak and Chop House.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of Just Wondering with Norm Hitzges. If you enjoyed what you heard, please hit follow, and a fresh new episode will be delivered to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if you know someone who might enjoy our work, please share it with them. I'm Norm Hitzges, and I'm always just wondering about something.
And I'm Mary Hitchkus, and I'm just wondering too.